like Gina is authentically like Gina.
Yes.
She's like, I live in a small house and I'm in love and these are my kids. And wow, one day when I grow up, I hope even one pinky of mine is like as successful as Heather Dubrow. That's okay to say, like, that's where you are in life. Like, that's authentic to me. I think it's very strange, like with Noella, like you weren't on the show. So when you're so offended that Jennifer wanted a picture with you, I've said this before, it's not like we're asking Vicky Gunvalson for the picture. I want the picture with Vicky Gunvalson, the Andy Cohen, like Jennifer didn't ask you because you were famous, like because you were like Gretchen Rossi, like you weren't on the show. So like when you're hanging out with someone, like you say at the end, like, you know, I want a picture. Like I've spent 3 hours chatting with you. Like, let's put it on the gram.
Yeah.
I mean, we all live for the gram, right? So I just think it's so weird. It wasn't like, this isn't like Shannon Beador saying this or Heather, like you weren't on the show. I don't understand what she's implying. Like she didn't ask you for a picture because you were famous. So where's the thirst? Like, I understand she tagged you. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes people tag people. I get tagged all the time. Who cares?
Yeah, good. That's a good point. And do you like Dr. Jen?
I mean, I don't not like her, but it's like,
but you're not loving.
It's like an Emily and a Gina, like, and I apologize to Emily and I apologize to Gina here in this public forum. I just don't know. Look, a lot of it is in the editing. I don't know what we're getting from her either. You know, like she's not overly interesting. I mean, maybe I'm brainwashed by Kelly Dodd when she was on my show and she's like, yeah, and that other girl, like that's like watching paint dry or something like that. It's where's the excitement in that? So I'm not really feeling her, but it's one season. I mean, I guess, right? It's one season. So sometimes it takes a minute, but I'm not feeling it. This isn't like your first season, like a Dorinda or an Erica Jane at the time, like, you know, where you're like, holy shit, like we got right out of the gate, we got a superstar here, people.
Yeah, I know. And you're right. Sometimes it takes a while for them to build. So I think she needs another season, but I get it. I totally get it. I'm like, and what do you think of her husband, by the way, too?
Also, like, first of all, like, I understand it's warm in Orange County. I get it. We're beach life. We're surfers. I grew up with that Kristen Cavallari and that like Stephen Coletti and Lauren Conrad. I get how it works in Laguna, but put on a fucking shirt. Like you know what Orange County Housewives is. You know that there's 7,000 cameras in your house and you know this is going to be seen by apparently 750,000 people. Why is your shirt off? Like you aren't like, I don't know, you aren't like Zac Efron, like you aren't like Marky Mark in the 80s. You aren't like, the body's okay for your age.
I know. Does he seem white? Doesn't he seem white trash to you?
Yeah. And like, listen, he gives me like Emily. No, he does. And Emily and Shane have come a long way. Like the audience likes Shane now. Like, well, I'm loving my Shane, but he gives me that season 1 Shane vibes where it's cringy when you're telling a group of people like we're still a work in progress or whatever he said. I'm like, treat your fucking wife with some respect, dude. Like at least fucking fake it. This is on national TV. I mean, go home and fight and get a divorce later. But like, right? Like it's just,
oh my God, yeah.
It's like cringy.
He gives me knockoff Slade vibes, like, you know, like a not as hot as Slade. Like, he's so white trash to me. And like, she's trying to make, you know, shit into Shinola. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too harsh. Sorry.
No, I like get it. What was I going to say? Before we wrap up, we're going to have to talk about these podcasts on another episode.
Yes. Okay.
Anything we didn't cover, we did some. And by the way, let me just say before we go, it's like, I'm not sweeping Mary's statements or tweets or anything under the rug. I just think that, you know, I'm not saying that she's not racist. I'm not saying I'm making a reference to Jenny's eyes. And she also made statements about like she made that statement about Mexicans on the show.
And even other Black people in front of the 7-Eleven. I mean, yeah, Mary's judgmental. I mean, there's no doubt.
Right.
Like, or racist or whatever, you know, whatever you want to label it. Yes.
That's the thing. And I wasn't like, just sweeping it under the rug. I just think what you said, it's like, she can handle all of that by being like, no, I'm not. It's the coming and like really looking at the books. And I'm not saying she's up to anything illegal. I'm just saying whatever it is, she don't want nobody in her business. And
No,
I agree with you. I do not think she realized this platform was what it was. I think they're just like, holy shit, this woman's crazy and she fucks her grandfather and like she runs the church, like sign her up. I mean, I think, they're in Salt Lake, they're casting, they're like, don't pass go. This is a definite green light. I don't think she really understood like what she was getting into. Because even like when they were doing the big kickoff back, they did like an Instagram takeoff. They paired Salt Lake to like an old school housewife. They literally paired, and she was paired with Teresa, and they were on an Instagram live together. And it was like, Mary was just like, didn't even know where she was. She was like, what? And like, how is this? And like, that's, I think, why a lot of people love it. It is, she's authentic in that sense, that I think she doesn't censor and she's clueless. But I think now she realizes like, holy shit. And she keeps saying like, this fucking edit they gave me. It's like, I mean,
at some point you said it, I mean,
yeah.
And no, I think that was a really good correction, David, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm excusing her, the things about like the things that she said about the I comments and everything. I mean, the Mexican comments. Yeah, it's very offensive. It's racist, so I don't want to be brushing it under the rug. My personal take, and again, this is just a personal take, is I don't think she gives a shit about any of that. I really don't. I don't think she cares. I think she would have shown up and talked about that all day long.
I kind of agree with you. Well, she's gone. And by the way, it's like, was she interesting on the show? And yeah, but the show being, I'm not blinking an eye. The show can I close my eyes and picture Salt Lake City without her? 1,000,000,000%. I mean, I didn't lose sleep over Bethany. I didn't lose sleep over Lisa. Love them all. But like the sum of the whole is greater than the parts. And I mean, I think Bravo is probably thrilled. I don't think there's a single part that they're like, oh my God, and what are we going to do next season? I think it's like, who would they have let go anyway? They got to change it up. And I don't think they really knew who to let go. And I just think this now, Jenny will stay. And it's like, we're going to get someone new. And it's like, Jenny, I think, has a ton of potential. Like, I think she did good her first season. I think she got more interesting as the season went on. And I think they're just going to film Mary's role, that period, the end, and that Bravo is not losing a minute of sleep. I think they're happy. And Mary did stick out. Like, so, like there was so much personality. I mean, Jen does too, but like once that happens, it almost like is your time to go. It's kind of like what they did to Dorinda her last season. And so I think Mary leaving is going to make it more of a cohesive like show.
Love it. Love it.
Where can everyone find you? You can find me at David Yontef on Instagram. You can listen to Behind the Velvet Rope podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. And what about you, Sarah?
Love it. David, same thing. I'm big on TikTok. So at The Sarah Fraser Show on TikTok, on Instagram, and The Sarah Fraser Show, new episodes Monday through Wednesday, Apple Podcast, Spotify, everywhere podcasts are played.
Amazing. Keep in touch, Sarah. Love you much. And we will speak soon.
Bye, David.
Bye.